All right, everybody, welcome to the futures pre-market forecast for Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. It is FOMC. We will hear from Jay Powell and the gang later today, but we've got PPI coming in at 8:30 a.m. Eastern in about 40 minutes, so we'll get ready for that. I will be trading PPI, and if I've got the energy, I'll record it for you. I'm a little under the weather, but the show must go on, so let's go ahead and jump to it. Yesterday was a bullish day as we anticipated in the pre-market forecast. That was great to see, and I expect a lot of the same. If you look at the E-mini S&P 500 here on the charts, you can see we've got the daily chart to the right, the weekly here in the middle, and the monthly to the far left. Everything just continues to melt higher. Yesterday, we ended up pushing up a lot higher than I even thought we would, but that just goes to show you, you never know what's going to happen. You got to come in with your forecast, execute your plan. The market's always going to do what it's going to do. You're there to try and find opportunities and be patient and wait. Don't scalp. All right, so today, what's in store for today? That is the main question. Well, when we look at ES here, the E-mini S&P 500 futures contract, what we can see is a pretty nice daily trend run to the upside. Weekly is breaking out even further here, and the monthly, we're pushing through some serious resistance into the 4,700 level now. It looks like we're probably gonna be headed to 4,800 barring anything spectacular from Jerome Powell today. So I think that any sell-off should be viewed as an opportunity to continue to add to longs. I'm going to be looking for 4680 strong support in the ES, the middle of the moving average envelope here today. We've also, I'm not expecting, if we see a day like this, and remember the Fed day, you just never know, right? This thing can, ES can go up and down 50, 60 handles while he's speaking. So these are very difficult days to forecast. But you got to look at the overall picture. And the overall picture right now is bullish, and it looks like it's going to remain bullish. So just keep that in mind. So basically anywhere down into support using whatever intraday system you've got is probably a good play for today. The important thing is how you guys can use these forecasts, right? Because you've all got different ways of trading. Some of you are swing traders. Some of you are very short-term intraday traders. Some of you, try to pick the high and the low of the day. Whatever you're trying to do, the forecasts are pretty darn accurate in terms of, the direction for the day and the overall levels. So right now, what I would say is looking at the weekly, the monthly, the daily charts, be careful shorting. Like if you don't have a really good system that enables you to pick off highs with good accuracy, then just stay away from shorting altogether when all three of these charts are pushing higher and look like they're going to continue to do so. That's really the best advice I can give you, right? So I would look at this from the long side if I were you. Again, it doesn't mean that I personally won't take shorts on my own accounts. I will, because I know exactly where I want to get in, why I want to get in. I know if I'm just taking a very short-term, counter-term short, for example, but it's up to you to know that for your own trading. So, keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and look at the NASDAQ. With the NASDAQ, we can also see, again, we're just melting up, and it sure looks like we're going to continue to push higher here. So I will be looking at this as an opportunity to buy pullbacks. And again, if this thing does pull back, let's say Powell comes out and, tries to be super hawkish and no, we're, rates are going to stay higher for longer and we may not be done. And, obviously that's all total bullshit. But if that turns out to be the case, he could knock this market down or try to, and it would just be a buying opportunity. I mean, I would be shocked, even if he knocks it down like this, I'd be shocked to see us close down there. Anything's possible, but I would view any knockdown as a chance to buy and push back up above 16,500. So that's how I'm going to be looking at the NASDAQ, the S&P. It's basically the same here for the Dow and the Russell. So I'm not going to get into too much detail on those. Let's quickly look at the 10-year. The 10-year, it was very volatile in the bond space yesterday after CPI, which is why when I traded the NASDAQ, I made a little bit of money, did okay with it. Obviously, would have liked to have made more from the long side, but the bonds and the dollar were giving a very mixed picture. So I just wasn't, sure if stocks were going to continue to squeeze all day like they did. That was pretty unexpected. But then again, unexpected things happen. The good news is to not get run over. And hey, even if you make a little bit of money, be happy with that. So with the bonds today, they look to have stabilized, and we'll see what happens. But this weekly is still bullish here into 110 for the 10-year. And it looks like the daily, is probably going to want to go back toward these highs, about 111 and a quarter, right up in here. So, bonds are looking, continuing to look bullish, as we've been talking about here with this weekly support pattern. We can quickly look at the 30-year. Yeah, also looks bullish. Doesn't mean we won't have a bit of a pullback, but there's a lot of support now here in the 119 and below on the 30-year. So this looks like bonds are going to continue to push higher. Rates will be dropping. This will continue to put a floor under the stock market, especially the way they got picked up yesterday on that sell-off after CPI. That's what kind of got me looking at the NASDAQ a little more carefully. I thought, geez, our bond's going to just totally reverse here and collapse? And it looked like it was possible at that exact time, but they didn't. They held and actually pushed higher and closed positive on the day. So it just tells you that yields are stable for now and dropping, and that'll continue to fuel the stock market higher. So be aware of that. Gold and silver, not much to talk about there. I've been, warning you guys in a very friendly way to, not go long this market. I think that the good part of the shorting, as I said, is already over for now from here on gold, from about 2080 to 2020. And then silver was our whipping boy last week. That was fantastic. Made some really good money shorting in here. But now, you're kind of getting long in the tooth in terms of this move. And again, I am looking to short silver, but I'm waiting for a bit of a test up to 24, or maybe something like this. If we got to push up here and then expect it to close back down on the lows, but I don't want to chase it down here. So gold and silver off limits for me. Do what you want. Let's go ahead and look at crude oil. Broke through some pretty serious support yesterday. 70 was looking pretty good. It just got torched, which is interesting. I'm staying away from crude now, although I do expect it to round the bend down here. But the fact that, it slammed lower yesterday on pretty big volume, excuse me. I really, let's wait and see where this weekly closes for crude right now. I mean, that could be an exhaust there, taking out, a lot of people. We called that low here. Remember back here, go look at the pre-market forecast for these couple of days. We said crude looks to be rounding the bend here, and sure enough, it did, right? But now just bang, slam back down. So the question is, are they just shaking out some weak longs, getting people to close out and then reverse this thing higher? I mean, it's hard to say right now. Crude's tough to read, so I'm not going to try and pretend like I know what's going on when it's crazy like this. But I would say with the situation in the Middle East, just one little thing ignites there, boom, this market will explode. And then also, with stocks just continuing to push higher, rates dropping, it seems it's a very strange disconnect right now with stocks pushing higher and commodities pushing lower, like crude oil, because it seems like the commodities are pricing in the recession ahead of time, whereas stocks are pricing in the rate cuts, right? So this is why it's a little bit difficult to read. It's been, pretty easy to read the stock market. Trading it is another thing altogether. I do all right with that, but don't let anyone ever tell you that trading is easy. It's not. But the connection that usually is there between, say, crude oil and the stock market is a bit broken down right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how that resolves. Is crude going to catch up to stocks, or are stocks going to catch down to crude? I think crude's probably going to catch up to stocks, but let's see. What do I know? I'm not going to trade it today. That's for sure. I'm going to keep focusing on the NASDAQ right now because I'm working on a new automated system for the NASDAQ. That's why if you wondered why I'm focused on it right now, it's a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and quickly finish off here with the dollar. That's interesting. A pretty good resistance pattern right there on big volume for the euro. So that looks like there'll be dollar strength. Look at the pound. Oh yeah, dollar getting stronger against the pound. And that's I said at the beginning of the week that this weekly support pattern here should have been strong. And right now it's not really, acting that impressive in terms of support. So it looks like the strong dollar could shake things up a bit today. Let's look at Bitcoin for the Bitcoin bros. I hope you guys hung on to your Lamborghinis down in Miami. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather, but of course, still got to do my best to have a little fun with this. But I'm not going to keep beating this dead horse with a stick here. This is going to reverse. It's going to catch down to gold and silver. I mean, it already is reversing. Called it. It's one thing to come in now late to the party and go, hey, look, it's going to reverse. Well, we were talking about the reversal up in here. That was the support at 43.3. Very clear that I said not only did that need to hold on close at the end of the week, but gold needed to round the bend. Gold never round the bend. Therefore, we had a very solid idea that Bitcoin would catch back down to gold, and that's what we're in the midst of right now. So crypto bros, be careful. You might have to sell one of your Rolexes or one of your diamond necklaces to pay for this latest correction. So I don't want you guys, in bad shape down there. So I'm trying to look out for you. So that's Bitcoin. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm curious. PPI is coming out in a half hour, so I got to get ready for that. Maybe it'll move. Maybe the market will just be waiting for the Fed this afternoon. We'll see. But you never know what's going to happen. So I'm going to trade PPI. But bonds look pretty darn bullish here. So it doesn't, even if the dollar does, end up pushing lower and try and shake this party up a bit. I mean, there's TradeStation pre-market 9 a.m. bell. Bonds do look, we'll see. That the weekly is pretty darn bullish on bonds here. So rates look pretty well, capped for now. Looks like they're going to continue to ease off a little bit as these bonds push higher. So kind of a mixed bag here in terms of everything. But stocks certainly look very bullish. Going to continue to look primarily from the long side. And that's how I'm going to be playing it. If I've got the energy, I'll record my live trading for you guys today. I'm working my way through this next challenge company. I'm just testing different things, kind of having fun with it. Taking kind of a slow December, which is nice. Good timing to be sick, relax, get ready for the holidays. Yeah. Oh, going to get my stand-up desk today, which is going to be sweet. It was melted. I can go pick it up. Very excited about that. And getting a booster to the internet here to the house. So that will allow us to live stream on YouTube, depending on how that internet connection is, because I live in the middle of the city, but there's a forest behind me that blocks my signal, unfortunately. So anyways, looking to fix that so we can do a bit of live streaming together. Okay, that's it, everybody. Take care. Good luck. Remember, just be patient. Wait for your trades. Don't get antsy, and good things will happen. All right. Bye-bye.